In session 4, we will be using the imagination without judgment. The client will draw 3 consecutive drawings of possible solutions. The rope is used or discarded. Each drawing is produced on a separate sheet of paper. We will discuss each picture and give it a name. What I would like you to do now is, without thinking of consequences, without any preconceived notion, do 3 consecutive drawings, each one on a separate sheet of paper, and we'll number them, and try to come up with some kind of a solution to this, what did you call it? Pulling the rope. You can use the rope in any way you like in these, but use your imagination. I mean, if you want to say that you're taking a helicopter and leaving with a helicopter, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do. Okay? So let's start. I'm putting this aside so that it's not part of our discussion right now. And go ahead. Again, you can use any materials you want. You can use the same materials or any others. That's number 1? Mm-hmm. Okay. And next. This is number 2. And we come to number 3. This is number 3. Okay, so let's start with number 1. Describe what you see here.
In this one, I wanted to make a longer rope.
Okay. What does it mean to have a longer rope?
With greater distance, there's greater freedom for both parts.
Mm-hmm.
And more distance equals less conflict.
More freedom. less conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The rope stayed the same rope?
It's the same rope, only longer.
Same material,
Mm-hmm.
yes? Wool. So it's a soft material. It's not a very heavy kind of a material. So the rope, would you say the rope is like the relationship?
I think the rope, when it gets longer and it gets stretched, it also is a bit more uncomfortable to hold because the
Tension
rises.
rises. More difficult to hold, okay. But you're going now also immediately into the cognitive things. So we'll look at that a little later in the next session. So, number 2. What happens here?
The rope is cut.
Mm-hmm.
And each person goes their own way.
Okay. I forgot to ask you here, not I forgot, I neglected to ask you for a name for for the first drawing.
Longer rope.
Okay, longer rope. Okay, here you go. Okay. And this one?
The rope is cut.
Okay. And now we are on the third one. Okay, what's happening here?
There are two sides, and sometimes...
What do you mean two sides?
There's two sides
To
the stick. The stick is kind of parting in the middle, and sometimes we're on this side, and sometimes we're on this side, and then again on this
so
side.
it's two sides to the stick. Holding the rope.
Yes.
And what is this stick?
I think it's kind of symbolizes the two sides in the conflict. My side and the other person's side.
Okay. So the rope is actually doubled over.
Yes.
Okay. And if I read it correctly, both of you are together, once on one side and once on the other side, and but you're together.
Yes.
Okay. Name?
I'll call it visiting both sides.
So far, so good. How did you feel right now with this process?
Some drawings were a little bit harder to think of because separation, for example, might mean certain consequences in real life. Some situations might bring up some tension, things that we've tried in the past.
Okay. Well, let's stop here so that you can gather your thoughts a little bit, and then we'll go into the next stage of the process in which you're going to be using cognitive facilities of your brain, and we will look at that. Okay? Thank you, and we'll meet again the next session.